Hey YouTube, Willow Dragonfly here. I am doing the VR response to Simon at Herman's Cave, the Circle of Friends deck. Circle of Friends decks. Um, so I thought this was pretty interesting. I've been spending some time trying to learn the Lenormand and a little bit of Pip deck, and kind of thinking about how I connect to some of my other decks. A few months ago went on a tarot collecting binge and was buying all kinds of things. Pre-ordered a bunch of stuff. A few things still haven't come, such as the True Black Tarot, which won't be out until December, I believe, which I'm pretty excited about. So anyway, I have been kind of exploring just different things and not really sticking to any one thing lately. I'm feeling every once in a while I get so that I just kind of want to learn everything, and I try to absorb everything instead of focusing on one thing, and I kind of obsess about it. So I had stepped a little bit away from the tarot to look at Lenormand, and I know that Marseilles or Pip decks are still a tarot deck, but it doesn't have the same intuitive vibe for me. So I kind of classify them a little bit differently, probably because I still haven't gotten that connection that I don't feel connected to them quite yet. So anyway, this hashtag was pretty fun. Really made me think, and I actually had a really hard time with it based on the decks I have, which I have several. Actually, I can tell you how many I have. I have several. So, oops. I have 51 tarot decks and 25 oracle decks. And the oracle, I also can put my Lenormand in there. So I have 4 or 5 Lenormand. And that's not as many as some people, and then more than others. But based on that, going through this circle of friends, now I have to bring it back up on my phone. I had a hard time. It's the first one, the brutally honest, confident, kind of the go-to on who you go to when you need the honest truth. No fluff, no sugarcoating, no politically correctness, just that straight up, here is the answer to your question, and like it or not, this is the way it is. So the deck I picked for that is pretty much the deck I have with me all the time. It is the deck of the bastard, probably the most brutal of my decks. Really straightforward. It's also one of my first most expensive purchases, and I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. I gave a lot to purchase this deck, a lot of time, a lot of investment, a big investment, time, savings, things like that. And that sounds kind of cold. You don't really put a lot of money into your friends, but you do invest a little bit. You invest a good portion of you. So in order for a friend to be comfortable enough, I think, to tell you the honest truth, to know they can say something to you and still be your friend, you're investing a little bit of your soul, your part of you to them, that they're holding that trust, that caring even, to be able to tell you that kind of thing. So you're investing a little bit of yourself, or quite a bit of yourself, into that friend. So maybe that is it. So this is the deck. I could have been showing while I was talking, I suppose. This is from Etsy, Tarot by 7. There's a lot of different, you can get different backings, things like that. different. Can you get different edges? I'm not sure, but you can get the back can be different. Mine are all aged. I've had this deck for a really long time, so the edges are pretty scuffed, which kind of adds to the aging look of it. But it is definitely my most brutal, most honest deck. No pulls, no punches. And like I said, it's the one I keep with me all the time. Just for that purpose, just that security, really, and knowing that if I have a question or if I want to look at something, this deck is going to be the one to tell me that. So the next friend was the Wise Mentor. This deck. So the Wise Mentor is the person you go to who has, maybe some life experiences that you can pull from, or somebody you respect that comes across as a wise teacher, whose life experience you trust, whose view of the world you trust, who, when you need that guidance with some education, not somebody necessarily to answer your questions, but maybe to show you the way to find those answers. So my deck for this is the Book of Shadows, Volume 1. I have always been kind of really spiritually connected to this deck. It really calls to me. And again, I don't feel like it gives me answers per se as much as showing me where I can find the answers. Maybe sometimes I'm not even asking the question right, and this deck kind of leads me down the path to the true question, to the true answers. And I just find it very beautiful. The way the artwork is done is so that it always looks like it's glowing. And I kind of have that, that's how I see a wise mentor, kind of like an oracle. Talks in riddles maybe, but you can always find the path. So this is the deck that I consider, skip around here a little bit, my wise mentor. So the Book of Shadows, Volume 1, As Above, I believe is what it's called. The next friend excuse me. The next friend would be the polar opposite. I had a little bit of a hard time with this, and I from a couple of the videos I've seen, other people have had a difficult time. Simon had mentioned how you kind of surround yourself with like things that you're comfortable with, your clique, your group, so to speak. So the polar opposite, I have a couple of decks I do feel maybe a little disconnected from, because of the way they are, and they may not necessarily be what I consider the polar opposite. This deck is the Night Sun Tarot. For me, this deck is very violent, very raw. And I do find this to be kind of my polar opposite. Very raw emotion. I don't know. Yeah, raw. Raw is really... And it is a little more violent than some of my other decks. Very graphically, I think. I mean, look. So I do find this deck to be more of my polar opposite. Cold almost, I find this deck. And I don't use it very often just for that reason. Some of the images actually make me uncomfortable. So every once in a while I bring it out just to look at the pictures. And I often think, well, maybe I should use this deck more for some shadow work because it does push me, outside of my comfort zone and into places I necessarily do not want to face. So it'd probably work well for that. But it's definitely one that I find my polar opposite. The friend I don't dislike, but don't spend a lot of time with either because of being put into some uncomfortable situations. Not bad situations, just situations that I'm not ready to face. But at the same time, I have to respect that, putting me outside of my comfort zone, giving me a learning experience that I may not have come across otherwise. So, the Night Sun Tarot. I have a light that I don't know what is wrong with it. Sometimes it stays and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, the next one would be the funny friend. So, the funny friend, the one that makes you laugh, the one that can take an inappropriate situation and turn it into a good time. The one that could be considered cheeky. So this is kind of funny, I think. So the Zombie Tarot. I find the Zombie Tarot hilarious. The underlying theme is serious. I think the pictures are, pretty. The message behind them is a serious message. You can definitely get serious, harsh messages, but done in such a way that no matter how bad the situation seems to be, you just want to laugh out loud at it. Besides the fact that I find a lot of the pictures just kind of hilarious. I like zombies, so maybe that's why. Turning everything kind of into a joke, making it a little easier to deal with, I don't know. So, yeah. So the Zombie Tarot is what I would consider my funny friend. Let me think about it. It's hilarious. And right there, I can relate to that right there. It makes me laugh out loud. Anyway, that's my funny friend. Now, the last one, the loyal best friend. So I had a hard time with this. I would say that my Deck of the Bastard, I'd also call my loyal best friend. So not only brutally honest, but loyal. Like I said, always with me. So probably would play a position as both. But for the sake of the hashtag, I thought about kind of what the loyal best friend would entail. So to me, a loyal best friend you could spend time away from, weeks, months, and when you come back to them, that You know, it's right where you left off. There's the distance doesn't matter, time doesn't matter, but that friendship stays strong. So for me, that loyal best friend that you can tell all your secrets to, that you could go for months without seeing, and then all of a sudden decide that you know, your life may be a little bit of a wreck and you need that shoulder to lean on, and that person's always there for you. Um, was the Triple Goddess Tarot. So this deck is that girly friend for me that you can spend time away. She's honest. She's straightforward. But she's warm and caring too. That no distance between you makes it matter. No time between you matters. Always there for you. Always has some advice. Willing to help you fix whatever needs to be fixed. And also willing to, you know, take the bastard out at his knees if, you know, she so need to. Not saying that there's anybody I need to have taken out at the knees, but you get what I'm saying. So, just, you know, always there. Always present. Always part of you. So, the Triple Goddess Tarot. Willing to look at your dark side. Willing to look at your good side. Honest. But not mean. So, that is my Circle of Friends tarot response. I thought it was quite fun. Quite a challenge, too, for me at least. And I thank you for watching. Have a great day.